Green Bay, Wisconsin history. Green Bay, located in Brown County, Wisconsin, serves as both the county seat and one of the most historic cities in the state. Nestled along the Green Bay Inlet at the mouth of the Fox River on Lake Michigan, the city's geography has played a crucial role in shaping its identity and economic growth. With a population of over 107,000 as of the 2020 census, Green Bay stands as the third largest city in Wisconsin and also the third most populous city along Lake Michigan. The greater Green Bay metropolitan area is home to roughly 335,000 residents, forming a vibrant and diverse community. The city's story begins in 1634, when French explorer Jean Nicolet established a fur trading post here, marking Green Bay as one of the earliest European settlements in the Midwest. Its strategic location at the mouth of the Fox River made it an essential hub for trade during the era of New France. As time went on, Green Bay grew into a powerful industrial center throughout the 19th and 20th centuries. The abundance of natural resources and access to waterways fueled the rise of the lumber, shipping, and paper industries, each leaving a lasting mark on the city's economy and landscape. Today, Green Bay has evolved beyond its industrial roots. The city's economy is now driven by a mix of manufacturing, healthcare, and service industries. Yet, perhaps no element defines Green Bay more than its deep connection to football. The Green Bay Packers, one of the most storied teams in the National Football League, are not just a source of local pride, they are an integral part of the city's culture and economy. As the only publicly owned major sports franchise in the United States, the Packers symbolize the unity, resilience, and spirit that make Green Bay truly unique. From its early days as a fur trading post to its status as a modern American city, the history of Green Bay, Wisconsin, is a testament to perseverance, community, and tradition. From exploration to early settlement, the story of Green Bay, Wisconsin begins long before it became a modern American city. In the early 17th century, European explorers were driven by curiosity, trade, and the search for new routes across North America. Among them was Jean Nicolet, a French explorer sent by Samuel de Champlain, the founder of New France. Champlain's goal was twofold: to establish peaceful relations with the Native American tribes in the Western Territories, whose conflicts were disrupting the French fur trade, and to search for a possible shortcut to China through Canada. Nicolet, guided by information from First Nations peoples, learned of the Ho-Chunk, Winnebago, who referred to themselves as the people of the sea. The French believed this meant the tribe lived near the Pacific Ocean, which encouraged Nicolet to explore further west. Champlain had also heard that the region was rich in natural resources, from fertile lands and vast forests to abundant wildlife. In 1634, Nicolet set out from Quebec before winter, navigating an incredible route that would later form part of the French fur trading network. He traveled up the Ottawa River, through Lake Nipissing and down the French River to Lake Huron. From there, he crossed the Straits of Michilimackinac into Lake Michigan, eventually landing near what is now Red Banks, close to the modern city of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Upon arrival, Nicolet established a small trading post, naming it La Baie de Puants, French for the Bay of Stinking Waters. Despite the unflattering name, it became one of the earliest permanent European settlements in North America. The region was home to the Menominee and Ho-Chunk tribes, who lived in harmony with the land, hunting, fishing, and cultivating crops like corn, beans, squash, and tobacco. Wild rice grew abundantly along the riverbanks, serving as a staple food source. Women played vital roles in both food preparation and community governance, as no tribal decision could be made without their agreement. Nicolet spent nearly a year living among the tribes, forming alliances and laying the groundwork for trade and friendship between the French and the Native Americans. After his stay, he returned to Quebec, leaving behind a foundation that would shape the future of the Great Lakes region. A few months later, Champlain's death slowed further French exploration. For several decades, La Baie Verte, meaning the Green Bay, saw little European activity due to ongoing conflicts among indigenous nations and European powers. By 1671, French Jesuit missionaries established a mission in the area, and in 1717, a fort was built to protect the growing settlement. The town was officially incorporated in 1754. The geopolitical landscape shifted dramatically after the 7 Years' War, French and Indian War. In 1761, Great Britain took control of the region, and by 1763, France ceded its territories east of the Mississippi River to the British. In 1765, Charles Michel de Langlade and his family became the first permanent settlers in what is now Wisconsin. Langlade, often called the founder and father of Wisconsin, was of French and Ottawa descent. A skilled leader and war chief, he played a pivotal role during British governance in the territory. These early French settlers and their descendants left a lasting cultural imprint on Green Bay, influencing its identity long after the shift from French to British and later American control. From its beginnings as La Baie de Puance to its evolution into Green Bay, Wisconsin, the city's early history is a story of exploration, cross-cultural connection, and resilience. A meeting point of European ambition and Native American heritage that shaped the heart of Wisconsin's story. Green Bay, Wisconsin history, British control, 1761 to 1783. By the mid-18th century, Green Bay, Wisconsin entered a new era under British control. Following their victory in the French and Indian War, the British took possession of Green Bay in 1761 and extended their control over all of Wisconsin by 1763. Much like the French before them, the British were primarily interested in the fur trade, seeing the region's rivers and forests as valuable economic assets rather than potential farmland or settlement territory. One of the most significant landmarks from this era is the Tank Cottage, built in 1776 by French-Canadian voyageur Joseph Roy. Originally located on 8th Street along the Fox River, it stands as the oldest surviving building from Wisconsin's early years. The cottage was later relocated to Heritage Hill State Historical Park in nearby Allouez and is now listed on the National Register of Historic Places, serving as a rare reminder of Green Bay's colonial past. While the British controlled the territory, the early population of Green Bay remained small and diverse. Most residents were French-Canadian settlers, joined by a few Anglo-New Englanders and some African-American freedmen. Among them was Charles Michel de Langlade, often called the Father of Wisconsin. Although he first established a trading post at Green Bay in 1745, Langlade made it his permanent home in 1764, officially becoming the region's first long-term European settler under British rule. During this period, Green Bay began to take on the name by which it is known today. The French had long referred to the settlement as La Baie, but British fur traders, noting the greenish hue of the water and shoreline in early spring, began calling it Green Bay. Over time, the British name replaced the old French one, marking the beginning of a new cultural chapter. The transition from French to British rule was surprisingly smooth. The British needed the cooperation of experienced French fur traders, while those same traders relied on British military protection and trade access. Under British administration, fur trading licenses were issued far more liberally than under French rule, creating an economic boom. Both British and French traders profited, and Green Bay became a bustling hub of trade and social activity. From 1763 to 1780, Green Bay grew into a prosperous community. It developed small self-sustaining farms, constructed elegant cottages, and became known for its vibrant social life, with regular dances, gatherings, and festivities that brought together settlers, traders, and Native Americans. The fur trade flourished more than ever before, cementing Green Bay's reputation as one of the most active trading centers in the Upper Great Lakes. In 1791, even as British influence waned following the American Revolution, two free African Americans established a fur trading post among the Menominee people in present-day Marinette, further extending the reach of Green Bay's trading network. By the end of the 18th century, Green Bay, Wisconsin, had transformed from a remote French outpost into a thriving multicultural settlement under British influence, an early example of cooperation and economic vitality in what would become the American Midwest. When the American Revolution ended in 1783, the Treaty of Paris officially transferred control of the Green Bay area from Britain to the newly independent United States. However, British influence lingered in the region for several years. It wasn't until after the War of 1812, a conflict driven partly by unresolved border disputes with Canada, that the U.S. firmly secured its northern territories. To strengthen its presence, the government built Fort Howard on the Fox River in 1816. The fort became a symbol of American authority and a catalyst for settlement, attracting pioneers such as James Duane Doty, Daniel Whitney, Jacob Arndt, Henry Baird, and John P. Arndt, whose arrival gradually pushed French-Canadian culture into the background. The completion of the Erie Canal in 1825 transformed Green Bay's destiny. By linking New England with the Great Lakes, the canal opened a floodgate of trade and migration. Farmers and entrepreneurs from the east began arriving in Wisconsin, turning Green Bay into a thriving trading hub. The conclusion of the Black Hawk War in 1832 further encouraged settlement, and soon the landscape filled with farms, mills, and bustling riverfront commerce. In 1833, Wisconsin's first newspaper, the Green Bay Intelligencer, began publication, marking the city as a growing center of communication and culture. By 1838, the borough of Green Bay was officially established, uniting two neighboring communities, Astor, founded by the American Fur Company, and Navarino, developed by Daniel Whitney. Before Wisconsin achieved statehood in 1848, Green Bay's economy largely revolved around the fur trade, which was dominated by John Jacob Astor's powerful trading empire. As Wisconsin became a state, the economy diversified. The region's vast forests fueled the rise of the lumber industry, and by the 1860s and 1870s, even iron smelting briefly competed for dominance. The port handled increasing quantities of fuel, feed, and lumber, while the first paper mill, built in 1865, laid the foundation for an industry that would define Green Bay for generations. By 1850, Green Bay had a population of nearly 2,000 and was incorporated as an official city in 1854. 2 years later, the Green Bay Area Public School District was founded, emphasizing the city's growing commitment to education. Throughout the 1850s, a wave of immigration reshaped the region's cultural identity. Belgian settlers arrived in the greatest numbers, followed by Germans, Scandinavians, Irish, and Dutch families, each group contributing traditions, craftsmanship, and faith to the city's character. The arrival of the railroads in the 1860s, including the Chicago and Northwestern (CN&W), SOO Line, and Milwaukee Road (MLW), was another turning point. These powerful new transport routes connected Green Bay to markets across Wisconsin and the nation, spurring commerce and industry. Timber resources were in high demand, fueling the growth of the paper industry and opening the city's port to international trade. Between 1880 and 1910, immigration surged again, particularly from Belgium and England, many of whom had first lived in Canada. Smaller communities of Dutch and French settlers also took root, making Green Bay one of Wisconsin's most ethnically diverse cities at the turn of the century. In 1918, Green Bay gained a new symbol of pride and unity, the Green Bay Packers. Officially joining the National Football League in 1921, the Packers remain the only major professional sports team based in a small American city. Their community-owned model and historic legacy transformed them into one of the most beloved franchises in U.S. sports history. As Green Bay celebrated its 300th anniversary in 1934, President Franklin D. Roosevelt visited to honor its remarkable journey from fur trading post to thriving Midwestern city. By 1950, Green Bay's population had grown to more than 52,000, and the city continued expanding through the mid-20th century. In 1964, the town of Preble was consolidated into Green Bay, marking another step in the city's steady evolution. From early French explorers and British traders to American pioneers and industrial innovators, the story of Green Bay, Wisconsin reflects the spirit of adaptation and resilience that defines America itself. Today, Green Bay stands not only as the birthplace of Wisconsin's European heritage but also as a living symbol of growth, community, and perseverance. If you enjoyed exploring the history of Green Bay, Wisconsin, don't forget to like this video to support the channel. Subscribe to History Love for more deep dives into fascinating moments of the past. Share this video with friends who love history as much as you do.